What's up, y'all? My name is Devin. I'm the DIY lawn coach. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. So I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I do. This is a lot of fun for me. It's a little bit different of a format. I'm here inside. I'm not outside where the sun's beating down on me and I'm sweating and getting gross. So I enjoy being in here. It's a lot of fun, as I mentioned. So what I want to do with this series is we're going to call this podcast series, we're going to call it Lawns and Life. All right. And my goal for you guys is to try to make at least one video and release it out on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern. So you guys can watch it. We're going to call it Lawns and Life. And it's just going to be an in-depth look at lawn care topics, maybe talk about soil tests and are they really necessary? Or we're going to look at robotics and lawn care and maybe talk about why I would never use one, or maybe why you would never use one, or what benefits. Or we'll look at fungicides and we will just kind of get in depth, and we'll talk lawn care. We're going to talk life too. I got my Duke shirt on here. We're going to maybe talk some sports, college basketball, NFL football, what's going on here at Lawncare, DIY Lawn Coach HQ, all that good stuff. Just have fun with it and help us kind of get through the winter and just keep talking about lawns and have fun. So as you guys know, I am a dad. I've got 2 kids. And one of the best things that I love about being a dad is teaching lessons. And, lawn care teaches us lessons too. But, for my son, it's making sure that he knows how to manage money and how to treat a lady and be respectful and, be polite and use manners and all those things, just life lessons. And then for my daughter, it's how to be strong and independent and, don't take no crap from nobody, that, all that kind of stuff. So, being a dad and teaching lessons is a lot of, it's hard work, but it's fun and it's crucial. And when it comes to lawn care, we have lessons that we learn too. And I have 4 that I want to discuss with you guys today. And the first one is all about soil temperatures. But before we get into that, I'll read you a quote from Marilyn Vos Savant, who was married to a guy named Robert Jarvik, who interestingly enough was one of the co-developers of the artificial heart, which I thought was kind of cool. But Marilyn said, "To acquire knowledge, one must study, but to acquire wisdom, one must observe." And so what does that mean to me? And when it comes to lawn care, we can read turf articles and we can do all those things, but until it actually happens to us and we observe what happened, for me, that's really where the wisdom comes in. And that's kind of why I want to share some of these life lessons or these lawn lessons with you guys. So let's get into it. Let's get this podcast started. All right, y'all. So the first lesson that I want to take a look at is the importance that soil temperatures have on our seeding success. You guys know we did a renovation project in the back lawn. We took some fine fescue, we killed it off, and we planted grass seed. That was probably the late August. And I would say that I seeded a little early. Now, I did that for a couple different reasons. Mainly was to get the video out for you guys. I wanted to get that video going so that maybe you could use it. It would help you. But I knew what I was doing. I knew that I was seeding early. And so how do you define seeding early? Well, it's all about soil temperatures. I don't so much look at the calendar. Really, and I've said this in other videos, everything we do in the lawn is weather related. And I don't look at the calendar per se and say, oh, well, it's August, I can't do this, or it's June, I got to do that. It's all about certain milestones in lawn care. For example, seeding. We want to seed when soil temperatures are 60 to 65 degrees. Can you seed earlier than that, say when soil temperatures are higher? Sure, you absolutely can. But you kind of open yourselves up to, things that are weather related that could potentially happen. There's something to be said for soil temperatures that are lower. It kind of shows a trend of maybe what's been going on weather wise. And on the flip side of that, can you seed early, coming in out of winter into spring? And the answer is absolutely. You can seed early, but you're going to risk some things that could potentially happen. When it's early, it's usually frost or freezes that could potentially damage your grass. And when it's late, it's usually afternoon thunderstorms and high heat. And that's exactly what happened to me. We got that grass seed up. It came in beautifully. The weather was perfect. We were mid 70s, upper 70s, maybe low 80s. And that's really kind of what triggered me to do that. And I should have paid more attention to the soil temperatures and not so much air temperatures, because air temperatures can fluctuate daily, where soil temperatures tend to stay consistent over a longer period of time. So I saw that window and we threw down grass seed and it came up, and then it did what I call sprout and pout. Got about 2.5 inches tall, and then the heat came back and the grass just stopped. And then we got a bunch of thunderstorms, and maybe your antennas just went up when you heard me say heat and thunderstorms. So I end up getting a little bit of a fungus back there. I think it was maybe some leaf spot. Grass has recovered fine now because temperatures have come down. But that's what happens when you seed early. You open yourself up and you're subject to those things happening, those afternoon thunderstorms, that heat returning. Had I waited until soil temperatures were 60, 65, I think the risk of those 85, 90-degree days, which we got, are much fewer. Or if they are, they don't have an extended, time that they're staying. With those afternoon thunderstorms, you get washouts and things like that. I didn't really have to worry about that, but I did have to worry about fungus. So we put down some propiconazole, and that kind of cleared it up and took care of it. But, there's really no benefit. There was no benefit for me to seed early. Matter of fact, I end up having to throw down more grass seed to help, repair or replace some of the dead grass that was dying. And actually, to be honest, the grass seed that I planted after actually is doing better than the grass seed that I planted. Now it's all going to blend in and it's all going to be great. But the lesson there is just be patient and wait till soil temperatures are right, and you'll have a much better seeding success. All right, y'all. So the second lesson, and I have to learn this one every single year, it seems like. And the lesson is that even a good fungicide program is not going to be effective when you get several days of heavy rain. And by several, I mean 7 to 10 days, which is exactly what happened to me back in July. And I'll tell you, so you guys know, you've been watching me, I am a firm believer in preventative fungicide applications, right? So preventative, getting those fungicides systemically inside the plant before, you see any signs of fungus. And the way you know when to put that down is when you get nights over 70 degrees, you get daytimes over 85 degrees. So high heat, high humidity, and you get a lot of dew on the ground, and the grass just stays wet for extended periods of time. And so when I see that in the forecast, usually that's early May, maybe late April, I start putting down a preventative fungicide, and that's propiconazole, azoxystrobin at the low rate with the Pete's natural adjuvant, the O2IS, and I spray those out over my lawn every 28 days as long as conditions are favorable for fungus. And for the most part, that works great. I literally have no issues with brown patch or leaf patch or any of that. It's all leaf spot, not leaf patch, leaf spot. I don't have any issues with any of those funguses throughout the year, until Mother Nature decides she wants to put the bomb on me. And we got, back in July, we got 10 days of heavy amounts of rain. And they were either every day, every night, or like in the middle of the night. And so what's happening is the lawn is just staying wet for an extremely long period of time. And I don't care what fungicide program you're on, when you're getting that much rain and you're not allowing the lawn to dry out whatsoever, yeah, you're going to deal with fungus. And that could be brown patch, leaf spot. I end up getting a little bit of pythium, and sometimes you just got to throw your hands up in the air and know that you did the best you can. But Mother Nature's going to win, and she's undefeated as far as I know. So it's just an important lesson. Some things that we do in lawns are out of our control. We can't control them. To a certain degree, we can, but for the most part, we do what we can. But there are certain times of the year things are going to happen, and you got to deal with it and understand that it is what it is. And when it comes to fungicides, even being on that 28-day program like I was, I don't know that there's anything more that I could have done. So just another lesson to keep in the back of your mind. So the third lesson that I learned this year is just how resilient grass seed or turf type tall fescue is. We all, everywhere, if you're in the Midwest, if you were in the South, if you were in the Northeast, we all dealt with the drought this year, and it was extremely hard. Here in North Carolina, Western North Carolina, we got, specifically my house, I went 41 days without a drop of rain. And I watched my neighbors' yards just absolutely fry to a crisp. We had temperatures that were mid 90s, low 90s every single day, and zero rain. They weren't even calling for rain for those 41 days. So it was tough. These lawns just burned up. Now I have an irrigation system, so I was watering like crazy. But I watched my neighbors' yards, these non-irrigated yards, and I live in a golf course community, and some of these lawns are small, but some of them are fairly big, and there's just no way that you can water enough when that's what you're going through without an irrigation system. If you have a single sprinkler, there's just no way you could keep up. And so these lawns turned paper sack brown. They looked awful, and I am so impressed with how much the tall fescue came back. We were getting into some of the seeding season, and I saw these lawns that most of them, I'd say 80% of the lawn came back through that drought. And so that's just, yeah, that's just another lesson for me and for you to learn is just how resilient tall fescue is as a grass. And when we think, I really thought they were toast, but they came back. And for me, having an irrigation system, what that tells me is I can relax. I can breathe a little bit when it comes to watering and understand that my grass is an extremely resilient grass type and it's going to be okay. You know, Another good thing about our grass type is we get the opportunity to reseed every year. But just super impressed with how resilient grass seed was. And so I wanted to call that out to you guys and let that be a lesson. The last topic that I want to cover, the last lesson that I want to share with you guys is just how much hard work it is to have a nice looking lawn. So having a nice lawn is something that I'm extremely proud of. I love showing it off. I love the amount of work and dedication that it takes to have a nice lawn, but it is extremely physically demanding. For those of you that are in lawn care and do this full time, my hat's off to you. I don't know how you do it in the middle of summer and when it's hot and you've got 15, 17 yards to cut. I've got some buddies that do that full time, and man, it's just so physically demanding. But I only have to take care of my lawn, and you know, it's hot, it's humid, it's hard. I've got a 20,000 square foot lawn, so it's kind of hard to manage, but it is a lot of work, and I think people underestimate the amount of time and effort that it takes to have a nice lawn. There's probably not a day goes by that I don't think about my lawn or doing something in it or what's happening to it. For example, thinking about the weather and wondering, should I water? Because when it comes to watering, I'm not a set it and forget it type of guy. I don't set my irrigation system to run on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I allow the lawn to dry out a little bit. And so I'm always thinking about the weather and looking at the forecast and wondering, should I water this day or that day? When was the last time I put down fungicide? And when for mosquitoes, when was the last time I put down bifenthrin to control that? And it's just it seems like every day you're thinking about it. And that's what it's. I'm not into cars. I'm not into chasing women. I'm not into, a lot of the golf, all those things. Lawns are what I do. It's what I enjoy. And so to me, it's not a chore. It's a hobby. And so thinking about the lawn and all that, it's fun for me. But I think about it almost daily, not all day, but maybe different points during the day, just thinking about it. And I don't use any professional equipment in my lawn. It would really be nice if I had that option, but I don't. I do have a 50-inch mower, a zero turn, which is not a professional equipment, but maybe I don't know how what side of the fence you're on that, but maybe you view that. But I don't have a ride-on plugger, and I don't have a Z spray where I can go out and put 15 gallons of liquid out and spray it. And sure, there's other options. I could get a tow behind or something like that for spraying. But generally speaking, I have the same equipment that you guys would have for your 5, 10,000 square foot lawns. And so it's just physically demanding. And when it comes to microclimates, I have Microclimates are very real, especially when you have a large lawn. All of those things that you have to think about and consider when making decisions in the lawn. And having a big lawn is tough, and it's a lot of work. I don't know if you have a 5,000 square foot lawn. That's still, it's still labor intensive. It's a lot of hard work. So I don't think a lot of people consider that. Thank you guys so much for checking out the podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, make sure you are hitting that subscribe button. Love for you to join on the conversation. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you guys. If there's a particular topic that you want me to cover, you've got a question, I'd love to answer that and communicate with you guys. So thank you so much for checking it out. And my name's Devin. I'm the DIY lawn coach, and I can't wait to see you in the lawn. Peace.